My father threw a chair at me. After I refused to let his girlfriend hold my baby while she was drunk. Hi, I'm Juliana. 2 months ago, I gave birth to the most beautiful baby girl in the world, Sophie. She's got these big hazel eyes, and the sweetest little smile that makes every sleepless night worth it. I thought becoming a mother would bring my family closer together, especially my dad. Boy, was I wrong about that. Juliana, honey, your father's on his way over, my husband Brandon said, walking into the nursery where I was changing Sophie's diaper again. That's the 3rd time this week, I replied, fastening the last snap on her onesie. He said he's bringing Kate. I froze. Kate, my dad's girlfriend of 7 months, the woman who'd shown up drunk to my baby shower and knocked over the entire dessert table. The same person who called me at 2 in the morning last month, slurring something about how my dad was the best thing that ever happened to her pathetic life. Brandon, I don't know about this. I know, babe. But he's your dad. Maybe Kate's having a better day. An hour later, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find my dad, David, grinning ear to ear with Kate hanging on his arm. The smell of alcohol hit me immediately sharp, unmistakable vodka mixing with cheap perfume. There's my beautiful daughter. Dad pulled me into a hug. And where's my grandbaby? She's sleeping, Dad. Maybe you could come back tomorrow when… Nonsense. I drove all the way here. Kate's been dying to meet little Sophie. Kate stumbled forward, her words running together like melted butter. I love babies. Let me hold her, Juliana. I'm so good with babies. Used to babysit all the time. Kate, you've been drinking, I said firmly, blocking the doorway. Just a little wine with lunch, Dad interjected, his smile fading. Don't be dramatic, Juliana. Dad, I can smell the vodka from here. This isn't a little wine. Kate's face scrunched up like crumpled paper. You think you're better than me? Just because you got a baby doesn't make you special. Lots of people have babies. I never said that. I just don't feel comfortable with you holding Sophie right now. David, did you hear what she said to me? Kate whined, tugging on my dad's sleeve like a child demanding attention. My dad's expression hardened, his jaw tightening. Juliana, stop being so uptight. Kate just wants to hold her granddaughter. She's not Sophie's grandmother, I said quietly. What did you say? Dad's voice dropped to a dangerous tone I'd never heard before, low, threatening, something dark and unfamiliar swimming in his eyes. Brandon appeared beside me, his hand touching my lower back protectively. David, I think it's best if you guys come back another time. Juliana's not being unreasonable here. Stay out of this, Brandon. This is between me and my daughter. I'm not letting a drunk person hold my 2-month-old baby. Dad. That's not negotiable. Kate lurched forward, reaching toward the nursery. I'll just go get her myself then. You can't stop me. I stepped in front of her, my heart pounding. You're not going near my daughter. How dare you? Kate shrieked, her voice rising to a painful pitch. David, are you going to let her talk to me like this? Are you just going to stand there? My dad's face turned red, veins popping out on his forehead. Juliana? You apologize to Kate right now. No. What did you say to me? I said no, Dad. I'm not apologizing for protecting my baby. You ungrateful little… Dad grabbed one of our kitchen chairs, the oak one from the dining set he'd given us as a housewarming gift, and raised it above his head. You think you can disrespect Kate in front of me? David, don't! Brandon shouted. Everything happened in slow motion. My dad's face contorted with rage, his arms tensing. He hurled the chair directly at me. I turned my body at the last second and it struck my shoulder and back before clattering to the floor. Pain exploded through my body like lightning, white hot and consuming, as I stumbled backward into the wall. Oh my God, Juliana! Brandon rushed to my side. David, what the hell is wrong with you? My dad stood there, chest heaving, looking at his hands like he couldn't believe what he'd just done. His face cycled through emotions, shock, anger, defiance. Kate giggled. Actually giggled behind him, swaying on her feet. That's what she gets for being disrespectful. Should have just let me hold the baby. Get out, I whispered, clutching my shoulder. The pain was radiating down my spine. Get out of my house right now. Juliana, I didn't mean… Get out! Sophie's cries pierced the air from the nursery, high and frightened. Brandon helped me to the couch before rushing to get her. My dad's face cycled through shock, anger, and something that might have been regret, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. You provoked me, Juliana. If you'd just let Kate hold the baby like a normal person. Leave now before I call the police. Kate tugged on his arm. Come on, David, she doesn't appreciate us anyway. Let's go somewhere they actually want us. They left, and I sat there shaking, listening to my baby cry, feeling the throbbing pain in my shoulder and wondering how my own father, the man who taught me to ride a bike, who walked me down the aisle, had just thrown a chair at me. The next morning, I could barely lift my arm. A massive bruise spread across my shoulder and upper back, deep purple, fading to sickly yellow-green at the edges. Brandon had taken photos the night before, insisting we document everything with multiple angles and timestamps. Juliana, you need to call the police, he said for the 10th time while feeding Sophie. He's my dad, Brandon. He threw a chair at you. What if Sophie had been in your arms? What if... That thought made my stomach turn violently. I know, I need to think. My phone rang. My mom's name flashed on the screen. I'd texted her last night about what happened, but she'd been asleep. Mom, Juliana honey, tell me everything. I recounted the entire incident, my voice breaking multiple times. When I finished, she was silent for a long moment. Your father called me this morning, she finally said. He told me a very different story. What did he say? That you attacked Kate verbally. That you were cruel and hostile. And when he tried to move a chair out of the way, it accidentally slipped from his hands. Mom, that's not what happened. He raised it over his head and threw it at me with force. I have bruises. I believe you, baby. I divorced your father for a reason. His temper has always been his worst quality, and Kate brings out the absolute worst in him. She feeds into his worst instincts. What should I do? You document everything and you press charges. David needs to face consequences for once in his life. He's gotten away with too much for too long. After hanging up, I called my best friend Nicole. She arrived within 30 minutes, took one look at my shoulder, and her face went white. Juliana, oh my God. That's assault. Clear, obvious assault. I know. Have you called the cops? Not yet. I wanted to talk to you first. Nicole, what if this tears the family apart? What if people blame me? She grabbed my hands. Juliana, listen to me. Your father threw furniture at you while your infant daughter was in the house. What happens next time? What if he does this around Sophie when she's older? You think she should see her grandfather treat her mother like that? No, of course not. Then you know what you have to do. Brandon walked in with Sophie, his face troubled. Your dad's been texting me. What's he saying? That you're overreacting, that it was an accident, that Kate's devastated by your accusations. He showed me the messages. David. Brandon, you need to talk sense into Juliana. I would never hurt my daughter. The chair slipped. David. Kate's crying. She thinks Juliana hates her. This is tearing me apart. David. This is ridiculous. I came over to see my granddaughter and got attacked for no reason. I felt anger building in my chest like a fire. He's lying. He's already changing the narrative. Nicole leaned forward. Which is exactly why you need to file a police report today, before he convinces everyone it was an accident. But some people will believe him anyway, I said quietly. Let them, Brandon said firmly. The people who matter will believe you, and you'll have documentation, photos, and our testimony. My phone buzzed. A text from my dad's sister, Aunt Patricia. Aunt Patricia. Juliana. Your father told me what happened. I think you owe Kate an apology. I showed the message to Nicole. See? He's already working on turning people against you, Nicole said. You need to get ahead of this. I texted back. Aunt Patricia, I'm happy to discuss this with you in person. What Dad told you is not accurate. He threw a chair at me and I have the bruises to prove it. Aunt Patricia. Juliana. It wasn't. He raised it above his head and threw it at me because I wouldn't let his drunk girlfriend hold my 2-month-old baby. Aunt Patricia. Well, that seems extreme. Maybe you misinterpreted his actions. David would never intentionally hurt you. I threw my phone on the couch. I can't believe this. She's actually defending him. Juliana. Brandon sat beside me. Your dad has always been good at playing the victim, but you're not alone in this. Your mom believes you. Nicole believes you. I was there. We're your witnesses. We're your support system. He's going to make me look crazy. Only to people who've already chosen to believe him, Nicole said. But the truth is on your side. And more importantly, the law is on your side. He committed assault. That's not debatable. What if he tells everyone I'm keeping Sophie away from him out of spite? You're keeping Sophie away from him because he's violent and dangerous, Brandon said. That's called being a good mother. I looked at my daughter, sleeping peacefully in Brandon's arms, completely unaware of the battle raging around her. Okay. Let's call the police. Nicole squeezed my hand. I'll stay with you through the whole thing. You're doing the right thing, Juliana. I just never thought my own father would. My voice broke. I know, honey. But he did. And now he needs to face what he's done. 2 days later, I had to meet my dad at a coffee shop downtown Java Junction on 5th Street. The detective handling my case, Detective Rodriguez, suggested a public confrontation might make him admit to what happened. She and another officer would be nearby, listening to everything through a wire I wore. My dad was already there when I arrived, sitting in the back corner, looking tired and angry. Kate wasn't with him, thankfully. Juliana, he stood awkwardly. I'm glad you agreed to meet. I'm here to give you one chance to tell the truth about what happened, Dad. I have been telling the truth. The chair slipped. I never meant to hurt you. You raised it over your head, Dad. I saw your face. You were furious. Your eyes they were scary. He sat down heavily, rubbing his temples. You humiliated Kate. You treated her like trash in front of me. What was I supposed to do? I protected my baby from a drunk person. That's not humiliation. That's parenting. Kate's not some drunk off the street. She's my girlfriend. She's going to be part of this family whether you like it or not. Not after what you did. She's not. His jaw tightened. You always did think you were better than everyone else. Always so judgmental. Just like your mother. Stop lying. My voice rose. Dad, I have bruises. I have witnesses. Brandon saw everything. Why can't you just admit what you did? Because I didn't do anything wrong. He slammed his hand on the table, making the coffee cups rattle. You provoked me, Juliana. You disrespected Kate to my face, in front of her. So you admit it. You admit you threw the chair because you were angry. He paused, his face flushing as he realized his mistake. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. You said I provoked you. You can't be provoked by an accident, Dad. You're twisting my words. I pulled out my phone and showed him the photos Brandon took. The massive purple and black bruise spreading across my shoulder and back, the scrapes, the swelling. He paled. That's not from the chair. Yes, it is. That's from you hurling a chair at me with all your strength, with hate. Juliana, come on, let's just move past this. I'll apologize to you and Brandon. We'll start over. I'll even talk to Kate about her drinking. No. What do you mean, no? I mean there's no starting over. There's no apology that fixes what you did. You could have killed me, Dad. His face flushed red again, anger replacing the momentary vulnerability. Why do you have to be so stubborn? I'm trying to make this right. You don't get to make this right. You don't get to throw a chair at me and then decide when we move past it. I'm your father. And I'm your daughter, the daughter you assaulted in her own home. That's it. He stood up abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. I'm done with this. You want to be a victim? Fine. But don't come crying to me when you realize what you've thrown away. You destroyed this family the second you raised that chair. You'll regret this. Kate and I won't be there for you anymore. You'll be on your own. Nobody's going to believe you over me. Good. I don't want someone who commits assault around my daughter anyway. He leaned across the table, his voice dropping to a harsh whisper. You ungrateful brat. After everything I've done for you, raising you, paying for your wedding, everything. I'm warning you, Juliana. You drop this nonsense right now or you'll regret it. Is that a threat, Dad? It's a promise. You go forward with this and you're dead to me. You and that baby both. My heart broke, but I kept my voice steady. Then I guess I'm dead to you. Because I already filed a police report. And I have 2 officers listening to this conversation right now, who just heard you threaten me again. His eyes widened like saucers as Detective Rodriguez and Officer Morrison approached our table. David Cooper. Detective Rodriguez showed her badge. We need you to come with us to answer some questions about the assault that took place on Tuesday evening. My dad looked at me with pure hatred burning in his eyes. You set me up. I gave you a chance to tell the truth. You chose to lie and threaten me instead. As the officers led him away, he turned back one more time. You're going to pay for this, Juliana. Mark my words. The next few weeks were a nightmare of court dates, lawyers, and family drama splitting down the middle. But through it all, I had Brandon, my mom, and Nicole by my side. The prosecutor called today, Brandon said, walking into the kitchen where I was preparing Sophie's bottle. Your dad's being charged with assault in the second degree and criminal threatening. The recording from the coffee shop sealed it. His lawyer tried to get it thrown out but failed. How do you feel about that? My mom asked. She'd been staying with us to help with Sophie and provide emotional support. Honestly, relieved. Part of me was terrified they wouldn't believe me, that somehow he'd convince everyone I was lying or exaggerating. That was never going to happen, honey. You had evidence, witnesses, and his own recorded confession of sorts. The system worked this time. Nicole video called and I answered. Hey, how'd the custody consultation go? The lawyer says there's no way a judge will grant him grandparent visitation rights after this, especially with the assault charge and the threats on recording. Sophie's protected legally. Thank God, Brandon said. That was my biggest fear, him trying to claim rights to see her, forcing us into shared custody or supervised visits. The prosecutor also mentioned that Kate's got a DUI from last year on her record. Nicole continued. Apparently, she's got quite the history, 2 DUIs actually, and a drunk and disorderly. Your dad picks winners, doesn't he? I just can't believe how many people are still defending him, I said. Aunt Patricia, his brother Kenneth, some of his friends from the golf club. They all act like I'm the villain here, like I'm tearing the family apart. They weren't there, Mom said firmly. They didn't see what I saw in my marriage to him. The anger, the control. They don't see the bruises. They don't see the photos. Let them believe what they want. You know the truth. My phone buzzed. Another message from my dad, despite the no-contact order. David, I hope you're happy. You've destroyed your family over one small mistake. Sophie will grow up knowing you kept her from her grandfather. That's on you. You'll have to explain that to her someday. I showed it to everyone. Forward that to Detective Rodriguez immediately, Brandon said. That's a violation of the restraining order. That's the 3rd one this week. He's unbelievable, Nicole said through the phone. He still thinks he's the victim. Still thinks if he just says the right thing, you'll magically forgive him. I forwarded the message, then blocked his number again. He'd gotten a new phone twice already to keep contacting me. You know what the saddest part is? I said, bouncing Sophie gently. Part of me wanted him to genuinely apologize, to show actual remorse, to admit what he did was wrong, and that he needs help. That would require self-awareness he doesn't possess, Mom said. Your father has never been able to admit fault, not once in 43 years. It's always someone else's problem, someone else's fault. I lived with that for 18 years. The sentencing is in 3 weeks, Brandon said. Are you going to give a victim impact statement? Yes. I want the judge to know exactly what he did and how it affected us. How I can't even have my own father around my daughter. How I have nightmares about that chair hitting Sophie instead of me. Good. He needs to hear it. The court needs to hear it. 3 weeks later, I stood in court and read my statement. I watched my dad's face as I described the terror I felt, the physical pain that still lingered, the emotional betrayal of having my own father attack me in front of my husband and baby. He stared at the floor the entire time, refusing to meet my eyes. When his lawyer tried to paint him as a man who made one mistake under stress, I watched the judge's skeptical expression. The evidence was overwhelming: the photos, Brandon's testimony, the recorded threats, the multiple violations of the no-contact order. Mr. Cooper, the judge said, removing her glasses, you assaulted your daughter in her home while your infant granddaughter was present. You've shown no genuine remorse, only self-pity and continued attempts to blame the victim. You've violated the no-contact order 3 times. demonstrating a pattern of disregard for this court's authority. I'm sentencing you to 20 months in county jail, followed by 3 years of probation. You are to have no contact whatsoever with Juliana Cooper Williams or her family during this time. Any violation will result in additional charges. My dad finally looked up, shock written across his face. As they led him away in handcuffs, he locked eyes with me one last time. I didn't look away. I'd done nothing wrong. I'd protected my daughter. I'd protected myself. I'd stood up to him when nobody else would. "How do you feel?" Mom asked outside the courthouse, the afternoon sun warm on our faces. "Free," I said, surprising myself with the word. "I feel free. He can't hurt us anymore. He can't manipulate us. He's finally facing consequences for his actions." Brandon put his arm around me. "Sophie's going to grow up knowing her mom is strong, that she doesn't tolerate abuse, that she protects the people she loves no matter the cost. And she'll know that sometimes the right thing isn't the easy thing," Nicole added. "But you did it anyway. You didn't back down." I looked at Sophie, sleeping peacefully in her stroller, completely unaware of the battle that had been fought to keep her safe. Her little chest rose and fell with each breath, so innocent, so perfect. "She'll never doubt that she's loved and protected," I said. "That's what matters. That's everything. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to cut off a family member for your own safety or your child's safety? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real stories about setting boundaries and choosing yourself.